Gibson here. I'm going to show you guys some information about complex numbers. Now, last video we talked about I, which is the square root of -1. And since we have this new type of number that really can't be defined like any other number that we've ever seen before, like your integers, your whole numbers, your rational numbers, even stuff like pi or the square root of 2, all of those are real numbers. And now we've got a special number, this imaginary number that makes numbers a little bit different. So we're going to call those numbers complex numbers. And a complex number is simply a number that has a real part and an imaginary part. Okay? And truly, every number that you can think of, it actually is a complex number. So let's take the number 6, or I'll use 6 already. Let's do -7. Okay? Well, I could write -7 as -7 plus 0i, which is again the same thing as -7. So that's -7 as a complex number. Okay? Sometimes that's debatable. People want to debate whether all numbers are complex numbers or not, but I think that's pretty clear evidence that they are. You could have an imaginary number like 5i, and of course I could add a 0 to it and it'll have a real part of 0. Okay? So that's neither here nor there, but it's just a different another class of numbers that includes real numbers. So all the numbers you could ever think of before this time were real numbers. Now we have numbers with an imaginary part because of this I, okay, the square root of -1. Now, like other numbers, real numbers, with complex numbers, we want to be able to add those and subtract those like we would any real number. So let's talk about what we need to do for that. So let's say that I have -10 plus 6i plus, this is a complex number, plus another complex number, say 9 minus 3i. Okay? All you're going to do, you guys, is combine like terms. Okay? That's all you have to do when you're adding complex numbers. So I'm going to take -10 plus 9, that's my real part, plus 6i minus 3, that's my imaginary part. So taking the real part, those like terms, and the imaginary part, those are like terms, and combining them together, -10 plus 9 is -1. 6i minus 3i is plus 3i. So that's really no different than anything you've seen. It's just like combining like terms, but just to be clear, this I is not a variable. It does represent a actual number, which is the square root of -1, but you're going to treat it like you would a variable. Okay? Now, some of you guys always have problems with subtraction. And so we're going to do a little subtraction problem here. Complex number 5 minus 4i minus -2 plus I. Okay? So I'll show you guys what I'd like to do with that. You could just subtract across, but I think that's always a little difficult. So I always like to distribute the negative and flip the signs to make this into an addition problem. So I'm going to have 5 minus 4i plus, I've distributed the negative, and I'm going to flip the signs inside it. So it's going to be 2 minus I. Now we got an addition problem. All we're going to do is combine like terms. So I'll have 5 plus 2 plus -4i minus I. 5 plus 2 is 7. -4i plus 1i is -5i. That's our answer. Okay? So that's a little information on complex numbers and how to add and subtract complex numbers.